Welcome back to the Gaming Grounds channel. I am your host, Action Jack. As you all know, if you're following the channel or if you're new to the channel, I'm known to only make videos on things that I'm passionate about. I don't speak about rumors. I don't speak about anything unless it intrigues me. If you want to hear me speak about anything else outside of what I'm talking about or within the gaming space, then you'll definitely have to come to the Winging It podcast every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to where it's me, Jay, Andre, Vicky, Shadow, and even Sandstorm. So definitely come and check us out. But to get into this video, as you can see in the title, it's about my viewpoint on the Quest 3. This is a product that has been out for a couple weeks now. For those of you that follow me, you know that I'm heavy into VR. So if you want to know an opinion piece coming from me, then definitely come check me out. But without further ado, let me get into it. So when we're looking at the Quest 3, you want to look at a couple of things. You want to see if it's worth the upgrade. If you want to talk about the product in itself, the games that actually take advantage of the product, and then also kind of the accessories you want to go along with it, because everybody wants to personalize their device, and if it's worth your money. And we're looking at an entry point at this point in time, $500 for the 128 gigabyte variant, right? So when we look at that entry point, it's very steep for some. You know, when we talk about $500, you're looking at an Xbox Series X, you're looking at a PS5, you're looking at a pretty decent PC if you want to get into PC gaming. But looking at the VR community, it's still a very niche community. It's definitely something for enthusiasts, if you will. And the only device that has really brought it to consumers to where it's affordable is Quest 2, right? So we look at the Quest 2, where it started off at 64 gigs, and then eventually the price got increased, as well as the memory selection increased as well. But now we're starting to see those prices come down, which they should. You know, you have a brand new product in the Quest 3, and you can also bring in the Quest Pro as well, which kind of gets into the $1,000 range, and you have to start bringing down the price of the Quest 2. Now, when we get into the Quest 3, the Quest 2 is not fading out. The Quest Pro is not fading out. So if you are not interested in the Quest 3, or if you want to enter in at a cheaper price point, definitely go the Quest 2 route, whether you want to go through the store or you want to go secondhand. I'm seeing them be sold for as low as $150. So if you want to kind of dip your toe in at a very cheap price, then definitely go for a used Quest 2. But if you want to kind of go in, you know, balls to the wall if you want to when it comes down to VR, then definitely go the Quest 3 route. I'm not going to talk about the PSVR 2. I'm not going to talk about the Quest Pro. The reason being, PSVR 2 is a little bit different from these because it's not a standalone device, and I have not sampled the Quest Pro. So I don't want to speak on something in an ignorant manner to where I've never tried it. I've only seen videos much in the same vein as everybody else, because it wasn't marketed as a gaming device. It was meant for enterprise, right? So as you can see right here, this is the Quest 3. And as you know, this isn't the standard headset that it comes with. It's more of the elastic band that you see, but nonetheless, this is the Bobo VR M3 Pro. And then if those of you that have the M2, they do have a retrofit kit, so that way you can actually transfer over, which was an amazing thing for Bobo to do for the consumers. But it's definitely something that you want to be interested in. But the device in itself, I love it. I love the Quest 3. Whether you're talking about the bump and the fidelity, you talk about the use case of it, you know, the speakers and the games, how they take advantage of the key selling point for this device, which is mixed reality. You'll see MetaQuest, you see Facebook and Zuckerberg just talk about mixed reality, everything mixed reality. I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to be in virtual reality and feel like mixed reality is not a key thing that they want to shoot for, but I'm here to tell you this is something that could be a true game changer. Unlike consoles, whenever your console manufacturer like Nintendo, Sony, or Xbox actually gets into a new gimmick or something that will change the scope of how you play games, a lot of developers don't buy into it. They want to stay with the standard controller. They want to make sure that they just increase the graphics of the game and maybe make it open world or live service, and that's kind of where they cut it off. There's a very stagnant nature within the console space, but when you look at VR and we're getting into mixed reality, this could have easily been the same thing, to where Meta was saying, hey, here's mixed reality, and not a single developer touched it. But we saw out the gate, whether it was games they released like BAM, to where we had mixed reality. But everybody else, all the developers jumped on board. Synth Riders, they jumped on board. We talk about Thrill of the Fight, they jumped on board. Puzzling Places, you say the Drop Dead Cabin games, like everything jumped on for mixed reality, and you can see they're really buying into it, and it really makes a big difference. To kind of give an example, when we talk about the space that we have, whether you have a big home or a smaller apartment or what have you, and you don't really have the play space that they have set for you, which is 6 foot by 6 foot. Mixed reality comes in handy where I'm playing Thrill of the Fight and I'm boxing and I have my girlfriend around the house and I have my kids running around the house. You want to make sure that you're careful. You don't hit furniture, you don't hit people. But playing Thrill of the Fight in mixed reality, you have the referee here and the fighter here, but I can still see my play space and I can be safe and also enjoy myself at the same time. This also is something that is great for those of us that get motion sickness very easily. Virtual reality is a great thing, but it's not great when you're laid out for a week or two due to motion sickness, to where you have headaches and you're feeling nauseous. So mixed reality is a plus for those when you talk about accessibility, right? When we look at this device, it's an increase in price, it's an increase in fidelity. It acts as mixed reality. It gives you brand new controllers without the ring, and it has more of your tracking features. You have the depth sensor, the whole 9 yards. When we look at this device and you question yourself and see if it's worth it, I think it solely always comes down to you. It comes down to the consumer, but I'm here to say that I feel like the $500 was more than enough. And I'm pretty sure you have the question of, should I go 512 gigabytes or should I go 128? I hold the same practices with this VR headset as I do with console. Download the games you're playing at the moment. There's no reason for you to have every single game downloaded. So therefore, there's no reason for you to take all that space. There's no games on this headset that take up that type of space like a Call of Duty where they're asking for 238 gigabytes worth of space. At most, I've had 13 gigs for a game take up space on here, but you think about 13 gigs for 128, that's more than enough. That's substantial in the space that you actually have. And especially with the virtual reality spaces that you have as well, if you want to put media content directly on it, what have you. But nonetheless, there were no exclusives that came out for this, but the developers took advantage, or even the system or the headset in itself took advantage of the power and kind of brute force some of the games and increased their fidelity or either made them run smoother. So if you're looking at a Quest 2 and you see that games are not running all that great, or if you own one and games don't run all that great, I would say a Quest 3 is a great pickup for you. But if you're talking about getting into mixed reality to where we're seeing games take advantage of it, or you see people now all over Twitter and all over Reddit doing chores in mixed reality where they're watching videos and doing chores or watching cooking videos as they cook, I wouldn't advise you to do it. But at the same time, you can see it can be done. I've seen people get on and try to use different APKs to where they can look at a light bulb in their home and then pinch their fingers and it'll turn on the light in their house. I mean, it's amazing things that you see going on with virtual reality right now. And it needs to find a great standing point going forward because it's a hard, I guess you could say, realm to get into, because virtual reality isn't for everyone. You don't have to play space. For some people, the games are not there. They're looking for long games, hour-long games, like console games. And for some points, you can't do that, especially when we talk about battery power. So when we look at accessories, I mentioned again with the Bobo VR, you get something that adds extra battery to it. Because initially out the gate, the Quest 3, I think, gets anywhere between 2 to 3 hours, depending, of course, on the content that you either are consuming or the games you're playing. But every time I have a Quest 2 or a Quest 3, I get an extra accessory that can give me more battery power. So with the Bobo VR, they have the detachable batteries. So you get multiple batteries. When something's running low or I see the battery, I switch it out real quick with my second battery and call it a day. If we're talking about, if you want to get into it, for those of us that have glasses, Zenni makes products for you to get prescription put in these lenses. If you want to wear headphones, yes, Meta's changed the ports around a little bit to where the USB-C and the audio jack used to be on the same side, but now they've split them up. So for those of us that had the short cable headphones that's on the left side, like most headphones tend to have, the jack is on the right side. Not quite sure why they did that, but you can go with Soundcore, where they have Bluetooth headphones that are tailor-made for the Quest with low latency, that has like an adapter that actually plugs into it and also uses pass-through, so you can still plug things into it, and it works fantastic. Playing Beat Saber was amazing, but if you try to use regular Bluetooth headphones, it's going to be a freaking disaster. It seems like, of course, there's a lot of work to be done when it comes down to VR, which can be done in a software sense. We're still looking for some accessories to come out from your Bobos, your Kiwis, your VR cover. There's plenty of companies out there that will make products for it, and it'll probably come in due time. But when we're looking at the product in itself, and if it's something that was worth an upgrade, for me, I think it was worth a huge upgrade. I've already gotten more time in my Quest 3 than I've ever gotten in my Quest 2. And my Quest 2 devices are probably like a year and a half old at this point. I think this was an amazing purchase, amazing pickup. If you're looking to go ahead and just go all in with VR, I say Quest 3 is the route to go. But yeah, this was just a quick preview of it. I mean, I'm not here to review it. I'm not here to tell you whether to pick up the Quest 2, Quest 3, or a PSVR 2, or even a Pico 4, whatever the case may be. There's plenty of headsets out there. There's plenty of room for competition, plenty of room for you to get what it is that you like. But all in all, if I had to choose what device, I would always go with Quest, solely due to the fact that if you were a previous Quest 2 owner, all the games you purchased come along with you. And that was a big plus. I didn't have to purchase a single game because they all came to this headset, and then also ran better for the most part and looked better because they went the extra mile to actually make it look better, but then also to the brute force of the system made it run better. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on Twitter or even comment at the bottom of this video. And then also too, come to the Winging It podcast, like I said, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday, minus holidays, to come and ask these questions. Thank you for your time once again, and it's been your boy Action Jack. Peace.